Greetings from South Korea. I am Arirang News AI anchor. Here is the news making headlines today. The Lee Jae-myung administration is continuing its life policy briefings. On Tuesday, the Health Ministry, the Ministry of Food and Drug Safety, the Culture Ministry, and the Anti-Corruption and Civil Rights Commission held their sessions. At the cabinet meeting earlier in the day, President Lee explained that the new format reflects his administration's principle that the government exists to serve the people. He said for people-centered governance to be more than just words, state affairs must be transparently shared with the people. Who are the owners of our country? South Korea is set to spend 30 trillion won, or around $20.4 billion of its 150 trillion won National Growth Fund next year. Deputy Prime Minister Koo Yoon-chul convened the Industrial Competitiveness Enhancement Ministers meeting on Tuesday, which also served as the Growth Strategy Task Force. During the meeting, it was confirmed that next year's investment will be done through a public-private matching structure. The 15 trillion won capital from the government serves as a primer to attract another 15 trillion won in matching investments from private financial institutions and banks. The government also plans to raise approximately 600 billion won through a citizen participation fund. This allows the general public to invest directly in these strategic industries to share the fruits of growth. South Korea and the United Kingdom have finalized an upgrade to their free trade agreement following 2 years of negotiations. The deal, concluded in London on Monday local time, significantly eases rules of origin for key Korean exports. What is notable is that the local value-added requirement for tariff exemptions on automobiles was lowered from 55% to 25%. This is expected to boost price competitiveness for electric vehicles, which often rely on imported raw materials for batteries. Barriers have also been lowered for K-food and cosmetics, allowing duty-free status even when processed with imported ingredients. Additionally, the agreement opens the British high-speed rail market to Korean firms and establishes a new framework for cooperation in AI and supply chain security. South Korea's National Security Advisor Ri Song-nak has departed for Washington, D.C. for follow-up talks with the Trump administration on the bilateral joint fact sheet. Speaking to reporters at Incheon International Airport on Tuesday morning, Ri stressed the need for senior-level talks, noting that revising the Korea-U.S. nuclear cooperation agreement and addressing the next steps in South Korea's plan to build nuclear-powered submarines are high-stakes issues involving multiple government agencies. Ri also said he plans to discuss peace on the Korean peninsula, including ways to bring North Korea back to dialogue and ease tensions. He will discuss these issues with U.S. Secretary of State and Acting National Security Advisor Marco Rubio. The length of his stay has not been announced. U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick has welcomed Korea Zinc's plan to jointly invest with the U.S. government in a major critical metals refinery in Tennessee, calling it a big win for America. Lutnick made the remarks in a social media post on Monday, just hours after Korea Zinc announced it had signed a strategic partnership agreement with the U.S. Departments of Defense and Commerce. Under the agreement, the partners plan to build a 650,000 square meter refinery in Clarksville, Tennessee, as part of the so-called U.S. Smelter Project. Korea Zinc and the U.S. government are reportedly seeking a joint investment of around $6.8 billion to move the project forward. That is all from me today. Thank you for watching.